I just found one of the most legendary cars of the JDM industry on Facebook Marketplace, the RX7. And it fits perfect with my plans of what I've always wanted to turn it into. Now, it's time to go look at it. As of right now, I'm going over the posting or the listing on Facebook Marketplace of the RX7. So the first thing that we're able to see is right when we look on the listing is like the car is actually running. Like it actually is running fairly clean, but he said the tune was lost, and so that's what we have to figure out. That's what the issues with it. The tune's lost, it might have some wiring issues, so it's a project. I'm gonna look at it in person. We're gonna test it in multiple ways. We're gonna drive it, we're gonna see how it is, and then see if it passes the test.
What makes the RX-7 so special is that the engine is different from almost every other car. It has what is called a rotary engine. Unlike the traditional piston engine where the piston goes up and down, this has a rotor that spins inside of a housing. This is just another way to make a motor work, and Mazda was one of the few companies that added it to their cars. Rotaries are known to have issues with the apex seals, so I brought a compression checking tool to make sure that they're healthy. Despite these issues though, it's still a unique engine that I want to live on.
And they're also known for sounding amazing. It shoots flames if made properly. The thing is a monster. What's up, man? How you doing? Damn, I can't believe it. That's crazy. Are you Cole? Okay, you don't care if I film it all, do you? No. Okay, cool.
I was like, I gotta have the retro on though if I'm gonna be in film.
Yeah, of course. Did it have a wing on it before?
I got it.
Oh, you have it? Oh, okay.
I didn't put it back on because we were gonna wrap it.
Okay. Is this like a different type of wing that was on it?
That's stock.
Oh, that's a stock wing. Okay. Is the do you have the gas door or is the gas door broken on it?
Gas door broke on it.
Okay. I'm very interested to see under the hood. What is this stuff? This paint?
We de-plasticked it. You can tell with all
Oh,
the
okay.
stickers.
Was that the guy that did it?
Yeah, he was a younger kid.
As of right now, my opinion on the body is that it looks a little rough, but it works really well with what I'm wanting. Mostly what I'm looking for is I'm looking for chips anywhere on the vehicle whatsoever. I found like a couple chips on some areas. I saw that there was like some rust showing through, so like the body work was done quite a while ago, so that's definitely gonna be like re-prepped. For the body, overall for this car, what I'd give it out of 10, I'd say it's like a 4 out of 10, like a 5 out of 10 maybe, because it's ready, but it's also not nice.
Have you seen a Wankel before? A rotary before?
I have seen rotors, but I haven't like seen them up close in person before. Dude, the spark plug system is so interesting.
They're wild. When it floods, that's what I pulled the tube back to.
Okay,
throw it on.
what do they flood? Flood with oil?
If you
or
'cause
fuel?
Because of the Microtech, you have to feather the throttle.
Okay.
So you'll flood it when starting it, and then when I turn it off, I just rev it and turn it off and
Okay.
get all the fuel out of there.
Oh my God. What the fuck? The fuel pressure regulator is just floating. This is nuts. There's a floating wire right here. There's a missing bolt on the turbo housing. There's a fucking wire just like right here next to the downpipe. Yeah, this wire harness definitely is gonna need some work. After looking over the RX-7, it's making it a tough decision. But you know what isn't a tough decision? The sponsor of today's video, the free Upside app. Upside is an incredible app that offers cashback deals to anybody that buys gas, groceries, or dines out, which is me every freaking day of the week. There are over 100,000 gas station, grocery stores, and restaurants on the Upside app, which is cool because I live in a small town and it's kind of cool they have that many offers for my town.
Top Upside earners are making as much as $300 a month. To find out how much you could earn, click the link in the description to download Upside and use code CoreyFunk to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas.
Imagine someone just goes and fills up their entire truck and just like 6 other cans. Do you know if the ABS is deleted in this?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I knew you'd skip, so use code CoreyFunk to get 25 cents off. So link it in the description. Enjoy the video. Well, are there lights on the dash?
There is I don't know if it's ABS.
So the 60 amps is for the ABS. The ABS one is missing, so I'm not sure if the ABS ones was like switched out and then they forgot to take the fuse out and the fuse blew or for some reason.
Or we robbed it for something else, or they robbed it for something else, which is possible.
Potentially, yeah. Is it popped up on the dash when you turn it on? Does it show?
That's what I was just gonna check.
The interior, I would say the most things I was looking for were any dash lights that didn't work. I was looking if the radio didn't work or if there was any panels that were loose, but really what caught my eye and stopped me looking for most of the other things, just the center console and like the rip and like the shifter boot and like kind of the wear and everything. I like the pillar gauges. I like how most of it's OEM. I really like how most of the car itself is just in a really like complete state and not torn apart. It's gonna be funny if there's the spare wheel. It's got the spare tire. This is a 30-year-old spare tire. Don't use it, by the way, it won't work, it will explode. Hey, what's up?
Okay, so there's a couple leaks is what you're saying?
Yeah, you're familiar with rotors, right?
Yeah, relatively-ish.
Well, I mean, you have two sitting in your house.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So out of the exhaust could potentially be from, pre-mixed or whatever, right? But it also could be that we have apex seals that, might need to be dealt with.
This is an old car, so it's like, when you look at it from like a basic view, like if one's restored, then it's really nice, but if it's like this, it's just gonna be so much work. So it could be a total of 10 grand just to do the rotary. This car already needs body work because my plans were just to focus on the body. So I'd say this one is a rough one. The engine needs so much work. I was coming here with the intent of it needs a new wire harness and the body needs to be worked on, but this whole car needs to be worked on. Like I'm gonna need to like pull a lot of like the stuff off of this and flush a lot of it. It's way more rough than I thought. All right, so it looks like there's a bunch of leaking happening over here where the oil filter's at, which I don't know. Nothing of this seems normal. There's a bunch of hoses that are just open. Like, where does that hose go? Why is this open? The boot on the rack, holy shit, that's destroyed. And there's another leak right here. That is just an absurd amount of oil too. I'd have to give an engine like maybe a 6 out of 10. So if I were to work on this engine, most of the things that I would have to do would be having to take the engine already out, and that's a lot more work than I'm wanting to do.
The other issue that this motor has is that it has leaks from multiple different areas. That means the motor is going to have to be disassembled anyways, which really puts me off. But overall, I'm still holding hope because I drove 8 hours to see this car anyways, and it's an absolute legend and a dream of mine.
One thing that I wasn't expecting from this car is that it actually had everything complete. Like, he actually had the wing for it, and this car was owned by a kid. Like a kid that did not take care of it prior to him, and he really messed this thing up. So this car was sadly put into a really bad condition, given to a really nice owner, and he wasn't able to restore it the way he wanted to with the budget that he had. This is making a really tough decision if this is something that I'm wanting to take on.
So in order for me to really understand what condition this motor is in, I need to do a compression test on the apex seals like I was talking about earlier. Just from looking at the outside of the engine, it didn't look the best, and so I gave it a 6 out of 10. But by doing the compression test, we're really going to understand what it looks like.
Holy, there's so much oil leaking from this thing. That's so ass.
So to run the compression test on the engine, I climbed underneath it, removed the spark plugs, and threaded in my compression tester. Then I disabled the fuel and spark so the car won't start. This tester isn't made for a rotary engine, so we'll have to take the results with a grain of salt, but it should be close enough. There's going to be a total of 4 tests that I do. 2 tests are going to be the motor while it's hot and cold. 1 test is going to show the compression of the entire rotor housing, and then the most important one is where I can see the compression of each rotor's face and the apex seals to that rotor's face. The lowest number that I want to see is probably around 80. As you can see when I ran the test, it jumped around, but it got close to around 130 to about 150 for the actual chamber, which what I thought was very good. But when I actually took the air chuck tool out, which shows you the compression for each rotor face, I was actually getting something between 70 and 90 PSI. And what scared me most is that each chamber was something completely different than the other, and because I thought this motor was recently built, it was not pushing the numbers that I thought it would for a recently built motor. Not making more than 90 PSI isn't great, but it's not horrible. That makes it even harder of a decision.
You're working on cars getting delivered burgers, man.
Thanks, boo.
Much better than that.
I feel like I'm at a dealership right now. My dealer's feeding me.
Can I get you a beer?
I don't drink.
After running the compression test and eating our 5-star burgers, we took the car for its first test drive.
How does it feel when you drove it? Does it feel like a sports car?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we were running same times as 130s, which is what I was running at the M4.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's compressor surge. Okay. Oh, is that breaking up right there?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So while we were on our test drive, you can actually hear that when he puts full throttle on it, you can hear that the turbo breaks up, like there's a boost issue or something going wrong with the motor. That is the car running in limp mode. That means the car isn't running correctly and there's something wrong with the car. And for that reason, it makes it hard for me to understand if that's the engine's fault or if that's the ECU or something else that's going on that we don't know what it is.
When you go left and right in the steering wheel, is there any play?
No.
Okay. Should have put this on a while ago.
Right after we drove the vehicle, I asked him if I could kindly drive it. The car was not running right at all and it had major issues boosting. Cole definitely needed a lot of work for it to run properly. But after I was done with the drive, I was really stuck on the decision to buy it or not. Because this was such a hard decision, I decided to call my friend to ask him for his advice.
Hey, what's up, buddy? I had some questions because there's maybe 6 leaks coming from it. I also did a compression test on it and just kind of wanted to get your overall opinion of what you think this thing is priced at. The compression test, it looked like it jumped up above 120 or something like that on each of them.
Yeah, that sounds about right. You want to be above 80 at the minimum.
Yeah, so it looks like when I left the valve on, it got a 90 on both of them.
That sounds okay.
But I mean, it's got a lot of leaks on it right now.
Rotaries are pretty prone to oil leaks and stuff of that nature.
Okay.
Yeah, some oil leaks aren't fixable unless you basically pull the whole engine apart.
Yeah, my goal is not to pull the engine apart.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I wouldn't pay more than 20 for it.
Okay.
That was my case, you know.
I think 20 is just the best for this right now, for the condition it's in. If I'm not, then it's not that, you know. That's where I'm at right now.
Because I was hesitant on the car, I wanted to do another compression test. I wasn't sure if buying it was a good decision or not, and I felt that this was the best idea to learn more about the car. So I decided to go back under the vehicle after our test drive to see what the compression test would be. After running the second test, it looked pretty bad. The numbers I got were not the same from the last test. This sucked because I was holding hope, and this was a bummer because I spent the entire day just trying to find something good about this car, and it just feels like it was getting worse. Not only that, but it was getting really late, so I decided to update Cole, the seller, on my thoughts.
That's where I'm leading to, of where I feel the value of how much I'd have to put work everywhere to make it, because I'm going to be putting in so much at that point to make the body, the wire harness, the motor, and maybe slight some other stuff that I might need to do, which is adds up to just so much work. It's not worth, even if I were to pay 16 for it, I'd still have to put everything that I would have put into the car to get the motor out and then having to build the motor.
I mean, I would let it sit here for 16, right? So what I'm thinking is in my head, I was like, all right, I'm not letting it go. I've had too much traffic. I'm not letting it go for anything less than 22. But I mean, if you think that it's gonna need a rebuild, I'll do one more salad for you.
Yeah.
To have it done tonight and loaded on the trailer,
Yeah.
I will sell it to you for 18 tonight.
He offered me $18,000 to take this car right now. That's $4,500 off the listing price that I originally came here for. And this really put me on the fence because I really know how much work this car needs and I know how badly I want it. So because I need help making a decision, I decided to call Nate to get his thoughts.
I was telling him, I was like, man, I just don't think this is the car for me, right? I just don't think this is the thing, you know, it's not he's like, it's not necessarily the price, it's kind of the time put into it. Yeah, after a few more of talking, he said he'd get it out for 18.
So that's a good price for that, what that is, and you understand what we're requiring ourselves to do now, too, so.
All right, bye. All right, I'm purchasing an RX7.
What up, man?
A second I was just I don't think that is, but I mean, I see that you want this car living on in a way, and I really want to build it, and so I just think might as well make it a deal if that's possible for you.
Yeah, dude, I think as long as you bring it back and we can throw you over a water ski jump.
100%, yeah.
You got a deal.
Okay. I'm buying a RX7. I was totally not expecting that.
We got the paperwork that we needed, and Cole was nice enough to let us stay the night since it was such a long day. So the next morning, we loaded up the car and got it ready to go home with us.
Good luck, man. Yeah, we'll stay in touch.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, now that it's locked up in the car, it's your problem now.
In hell.